Back in December of 2018, I filmed an episode of Unsealed called Then and Now, where I featured Katamari Damacy. I had a black label copy of the original game for the PlayStation 2 that still had its ID sticker on it. That game set me back a little bit, but it was well worth it to be able to open one of the first run releases. And I had also opened up the Switch version of the game, kind of like a remake called Katamari Damacy Reroll. I guess you'd call it more a remaster than a remake. For those that are not initiated with the wackiness that is Katamari Damacy, the basic gist of the story is that you are the Prince of all Cosmos, and your dad, the King of all Cosmos, has done something rather dumb. He went on a bender the previous night, and while in a drunken stupor, decided to destroy all the stars in the cosmos. People were upset about this, and the king realized something had to be done, so that's where you, as the prince, come in. You have to take a ball called a Katamari and roll it all over the earth, picking up all kinds of really neat and interesting collectibles in order to make the ball bigger and bigger and bigger. The bigger the ball gets, the better the star is, and each level has a specific size that the ball has to be before time runs out. If you make the ball bigger than that, you can certainly keep rolling as long as you wish until the time runs out, but if not, it is game over and you have to do it again. It's not overly frustrating. It's not overly difficult, although there are some trying sequences in the game. It is a lot of fun to play. It's relaxing. It's funny. The soundtrack is eclectic. It is one of my favorite games for the PlayStation 2, and it was a joy to open up this copy and to also replay the game on the Switch as well. So what does that have to do with this episode? Well, I have a sealed copy of We Love Katamari, which is unfortunately blotted out by the Circuit City sticker here. This is the sequel that came out in 2005. Obviously, the original game sold well enough to promote or get a sequel made that Namco would greenlight. Of course, this is a Namco release and not Bandai Namco, so this is, I believe, a first copy run. Unfortunately, in 2005, we started to get rid of the ID stickers on the tops of games, so not all games had them. We were seeing an increasing number of games that did not. This is a direct sequel, but there are some interesting gameplay changes, and we'll talk about those as we look through the instruction manual. This is what the back of the case looks like, and I'm sorry for some of the glare. Still has those bright blue and yellow and pink colors, very calming color scheme and nice to look at. Certainly not brown or gray, which we saw a lot of in the following generation of consoles, Gen 7. But it is fun to play, more eclectic soundtracks, different levels to play, and I believe that this has two-player. I think, yes, this has two players as well. It's been a while since I played this, so we're going to go ahead and open this up before long and see what it is about. But first, as always, let's read the back of the case and see what it says. It says, "The quirky gameplay that captivated the world returns to roll up anything and everything that gets in your way. The king of all cosmos grew to stardom after replacing the stars with the Princess Katamaris. In response to this newfound fame, the king is out to appease his fans with the help of the prince and his cousins. Now they are tasked with rolling up even more clumps, each larger and more different than the one before." So you can roll up new objects, you can experience all new levels and environments, there's an all-new creative design and music soundtrack, there's an all-new two-player co-op mode and expanded battle mode. So that's what you have here. We're going to go ahead and open this up without further delay, and we're going to take a look at the instruction manual, which I believe, if I remember right, is in full color. So let's go ahead and do that. Got my trusty scissors right here, and we're going to open that up just like that. Trying to do this on camera so we don't lose anything. And we're going to tilt the game this way a little bit. There we go. All right. So with that off, we're going to go ahead and open this up very slowly to make sure the disc doesn't come out. Oh, yeah, this is great. So when we turn everything around, this is what you'll see. We have the instruction manual right here. We're going to take a look at that in a moment. And the disc, which is, again, very colorful, featuring the King of all Cosmos at 12 o'clock there right at the top. So let's go ahead and take the instruction manual out. It is a good size manual, especially for 2005. These are starting to become less and less common, so the fact that we actually got something this thick, that's a pretty good size, I think, is certainly remarkable. This is a 48-page instruction manual, and it is in full color, which makes me very happy. Still not enough stars here. We have a look at the controller layout, which we always have in every one of these instruction manuals. And we have a really cool story setter that I'll actually go ahead and take a moment to read here. It says, "Why roll a Katamari around? Because it's fun, that's why. After all, the Katamari rolls up everything. Roll up here, roll up there, make it bigger. In the end, it becomes a star. It replaces all of the stars the king accidentally busted up. Wow, become a Katamari fan. This time around, this one's for all the Katamari Damacy fans out there. Make the Katamari big and fulfill the dreams of the fans. Yay!" And we have some fans down there in the corner. I love the artwork in this game. It's not overly serious. It's a lot of fun to look at, kind of relaxing, relieving. It's so cool. I love this game. And it's all in the same font. How do you make it bigger? So it talks about the basics of how to play the game. I mean, just the artwork alone. This right here, I was talking about this on Twitter today. This is why I miss instruction manuals. And I'll get into that when I do another episode specifically on instruction manuals. It's something I have in the works that I'll be doing soon. But this is a reason why, because these just look great. They're fun to read. It's not just a boring list of instructions. And I think that that's really important. We definitely miss those in the modern era. But that's, again, a story for another time. So the game just shows you all of the steps, and it doesn't really overdo it on each page. So it's more like reading a book than it is about reading an instruction manual. This is, I mean, I could do an entire episode on this alone. Oh no, it's the boogeyman, run away. That's so good. Eventually we get to the different modes in the game where we talk about the photo album, the collection, presents versus rankings, so on and so forth. Again, very colorful there. And the way that this game works, unlike Katamari Damacy was all about replacing the stars in the sky. So you had pretty much a set order, although sometimes you could pick and choose between two levels to get through. I believe one set of levels was rebuilding the constellations, and another set of levels was just rebuilding the levels, the stars themselves. In this particular game, you have a set of requests that are made of the King of all Cosmos, and you, as his son, are tasked with filling them all out. I don't remember any of the missions specifically because it's been a while since I played this, and I'm happy to open this because now I can actually try it out again. But the more the requests you fill, the more your collection grows, and that's how the game progresses. It is a lot of fun to play. I highly recommend it. It's not that expensive to find these days. I believe that there were later prints of the game, so it's not necessarily uncommon. It's actually a game that if you're still buying from GameStop, I believe that GameStop has disc-only copies of this for fairly cheap. So you can find this just about anywhere. The only sad thing, of course, is that it's not backwards compatible. There wasn't any kind of PlayStation 4 version of this, much like the Katamari Damacy game for the Xbox 360 was not backwards compatible, which I thought was a real shame. Again, I can't stress enough how fun these games are to play. Some games take themselves really seriously. Some games are over the top with their levels of storytelling and violence and all kinds of things like that. And believe me, there are some games that need to be like that. Not every game needs to be all kinds of squeaky clean. Not every game needs to be a Mario. Sometimes you have to have those games. But this game is a fun break from a lot of the overly serious stuff, a lot of the big narrative, big stage setting kind of games where you just kind of kick back and play it. Although you have a time limit to go against, you never feel like you're under any kind of serious stress, and it's just a lot of fun to be goofy. And really, that's what I'm all about. You can ask any of the kids that I work with. You can ask any of the people that know me. I definitely have a big goofy side, and these games here, the Katamari games, certainly help to bring that out in me more often than not. As always, I thank you very much for checking out this and all of my episodes of Unsealed. I really do appreciate it. Until the next time, my friends, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you soon.